Amendment is unnecessary, but it is not actively harmful either. I hope we can move on.
This administration is doing nothing about it.
You know, this southern border is truly an invasion, but it's an invasion of our own doing because of the Biden administration.
Hakeem Jeffries. If Hakeem Jeffries is delivering votes on the House floor, that costs a pretty penny.
People are sick and tired of being told that everything's going to be okay. What they want is action. Hello and welcome to episode 10 of What's Up in Washington. The fight to save America never ends, and I've been up here fighting spending bills and the woke agenda and trying to defund every possible woke item that you can think of. So some of those bills that we're going to go over really quickly is Safeguarding Protected Speech Act. Now there's no question that Joe Biden has made America weaker and woker. Having the Department of Health and Human Services force all HHS employees and affiliated employees to recognize those who use different pronouns. And I want to thank my friend and Senator Ted Cruz for being the sponsor of this companion bill in the Senate. But keep in mind, if employees refuse to comply, they're going to be fired. Now, what's important and imperative about this is free speech, and this bill would prohibit any federal agency or department from making any policy that mandates employees call people by any name other than their legal name or by their preferred pronouns, unless they're aligned with their sex. So, woke gender nonsense has no place in our government, and forcing people to comply with that illusion is abhorrent. And keep in mind that infringement of speech is a violation of your constitutional rights, but also forcing speech, forcing federal employees compelled speech is also a violation. So to force federal employees, to compel them to say something that may be against their beliefs, against their religious beliefs, is a violation. It's a shame that we have to codify this, but we do, because this woke administration is doing everything they can to really attack your liberty and destroy this country. And again, I want to thank Senator Ted Cruz for being my sponsor in the Senate as we work to get this passed and hopefully will protect workers. I've passed a lot of bills as it pertains to China and the Palestinians, like the Gaza Act. We've have worked to prevent funds from falling in the hands of terrorists after the Israel attack in October. But ever since Hamas invaded Israel, Joe Biden has expressed disgraceful support for Hamas terrorists and their allies. And I've introduced 3 bills kind of going to that next level that address the Biden administration's lack of action regarding terrorists. So I've got one that's called the Evict Act, or Evicting Violent Islamic Criminals That Entered Deviously Act. That's a mouthful, and it's kind of a play on the alphabet, but it's the Evict Act, but it's an important step in protecting the homeland. What this does is it deports any illegal that comes from the Palestinian-controlled areas. That's important. We now at the southern border, border crossings have now hit records, almost 400,000 now in September, which is just hard to fathom. And so we've caught people from Syria, we're catching people from Iran, we've caught people with bombs, with IEDs, and so that's what's coming, that's what they're trying to get across the border. So it's imperative that we push for these. We've got the No TPS for Terrorist Acts. TPS stands for Temporary Protected Status. And the Department of Homeland Security, the DHS, has been abusing the TPS status to invite millions of people, non-citizens, illegals, to live and work in the United States. And what we know under this Biden administration, TPS, or Temporary Protected Status, really means permanent status, because they're using every trick in the book to have our country invaded. And you even have Mayorkas that just said a day or two ago that he is advocating for amnesty to the roughly 15 to 20 million people that are here illegally, or more. We don't even know. With that in itself is a problem. So my bill bans Joe Biden from doing this, and it protects, again, another way I'm trying to protect the homeland. I've really tried to be, or have been, the tip of the spear on protecting the homeland when it comes to terrorism and counterterrorism, and so I continue to do that. Another one that I've got is the Trust But Verify Act. The nation of Qatar, or Qatar, as you would say in Arabic, currently sponsors Hamas terrorists by funding Hamas as well as providing an office space to their leader. So we literally have Hamas terrorists who are billionaires living in Qatar, yet they are still considered a major non-NATO ally. So they have a special status with NATO in the same way that like Israel or Taiwan would have. This legislation simply revokes that status until the president certifies that Qatar or Qatar is no longer directly supporting or funding terrorism. And that's a huge deal. So look, if Qatar wants to be our friend, then they should be our friend. We have a forward operating base in Qatar or Qatar. It's important. But that being said, if they truly want to hold that status, if they want to be that special status with the United States and with NATO, then they need to truly be an ally. And instead of in the front door, they're helping the United States and Europe, but out the back door, they're literally housing terrorists who are organizing attacks against Israelis in the West. And so this cannot be tolerated, and we have to push back. So in closing, while legislation is critical, I'm fighting here in D.C. The status quo is not acceptable, and so we've got to fight. And look, I realize the Senate, we don't have the Senate, and some of this won't pass, but we have to fight. We have to own the narrative. We have to fight for our country, for our republic, for our future, for our children's future. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all the prayers. I hope you had a great holiday. It's an honor to serve you, to be your congressman, and just know that every day I'm up here, I'm away from my family, I'm doing so to fight for our country, to fight for Tennessee, and to fight for you. I continue to be one of the highest sponsor of legislation in Congress, certainly amongst freshmen, and I continue to be one of those that not only offers but passes more amendments than many, if not most, members of Congress. I don't have the exact counts. We don't check it every day, but it's an honor to do that. I just passed an amendment, and I've got another 4 amendments that we probably will pass this week. So the fight goes on. God bless you, and thank you.